don't know. I feel like it just depends on what you are watching or playing to get fully magic or not magic. Because like in Tales of Arise, you have, again, I can't remember their names. It's been a minute since I played them, but you have a full physical attacker and you have a full magic attacker. And then you have the girl with the pink hair who's mid. She's like half and half. I don't know. I haven't really been watching a lot of anime per se that necessarily have magic. I mean, I guess with One Piece being my favorite anime, like, I guess technically most everyone just attacks physically unless their devil fruit lets them do otherwise. So I guess... No, I guess I would say Nami is more magic because of her weather nonsense. And then Robin would be physical because of how her devil fruit works. At least I would make that argument. I'm trying to think of what games I've played recently. The only pure mage is Pop, who's male. In Dragon Quest XI, you have the two sisters. They're pretty much pure magic. But then you do have the princess who's pure physical. Oh, sure. You can join me. Why not? I'll take a free monster. I'm not naming you. Just go to the depot. One day, I will be a good enough level that I can go fight that dragon. It's not a JRPG, it's a Chinese RPG, but in Sword and Fairy Together Forever, your girls are pretty much your magic attackers. Mo Ching is your healer and pretty much only mage, and then the main character, who's female, is she summons spirits, which are all except for one, I believe, are magic attackers, and then I think it's just the one fire spirit is a physical attacker. No, I don't want to scout you. I want to kill you. I've only played Together Forever, though. I haven't played the earlier one, so I don't know if that still stands. But if you're looking for magical girls, check out Sword and Fairy Together Forever. Might be a good shout. It lets you interchange between the characters, so you can play as Mo Ching, the magic person, if you really want to. I think she has a healing move. I think the main healer is the dude with the bow, but at least you get your hardcore magic girl. And you can heal with her if you so desire. The main character is a good deal of both healing and magic, though. I really need to go replenish my NP. These things are too low level for my like main party members to actually be leveling up off of them. Okay. Take me back to the tower.
Zoom!
Alright, take me back to the House of Shifting Sands. Maybe it'll be better for me to fight things actually in the House of Shifting Sands. In like one of the lower floors. Typically varying types of tomboy tropes. I think that would depend again on the character and the game. If you ever play Fire Emblem Three Houses, Hilda, who I now named my Rhinocerax in this game after, she is very much a physical attacker. She wields an axe, but she's also very girly. Haru in Persona 5 does a good amount of both. Also another axe-wielding character. But she's also very girly, but also very brutal. So I guess it's limited in what you can find, but they exist out there. Probably not enough, but they're out there. Or in, if you ever play Genshin Impact, Dia, she is a mercenary character. She's definitely more physically, but she is also very girly. One of her like little idle animations is putting on makeup, and she just really likes her accessories. Oh, you tend to hate mercenaries. I see. I see. Never mind then. Part of me really wants to go try and fight that dragon again, but I know it's not going to end well. Okay. I think I said I wanted to grind on a lower floor. Take me to the end. Yes. Well, at least for Genshin, the term mercenary isn't necessarily accurate to a real life portrayal. It's more just a literal sword for hire, not necessarily a murderer. In Sumeru, the mercenaries are the peacekeepers, so they take the place of police and make sure that the people stay safe. But then there are definitely mercenaries who are evil, but they're not all evil, if that makes sense. What is happening with this? Did this glitch? Is that why this is purple? You know what? It can just stay like that. It can just stay like that. That would be much harder to manage realistically, though, pretty much because of what... Yeah, I think it can be really hard sometimes to separate what we picture in reality versus what we see in, like, a video game or an anime. Because we're tied to what those professions are like in our reality. I don't know. I feel like I have a love-hate relationship with them. Just depends on the individual character. I just like to look at them character by character basis and see how the world they exist in handles it. Which I won't say that Genshin doesn't try and, like, clean up the character of some of the mercenaries who are bad, but they are still held accountable. Spoilers for Dia's story quest if you have not done it. Is there a better place I could be grinding? Because I cannot reliably find metal slimes to grind against. I guess let's go... Let's go back here. Let's see if these enemies are more grindable. That's a word now. Okay, how are our monsters doing level-wise? 26, 23, 28, 23. Why are you leveling so slowly? Why do you hate me? Only 11. I don't think I can get anything with that. I can't. I need 25. I get something for you. Splash, which you're probably never going to use because you're not a magic attacker. It's interesting that they won't let me zoom to the little town up there. It makes me wonder if that town is not going to exist soon. Maybe once I fight this dragon, that town just stops existing. Which, you know, it's run by a cult, so it probably should stop existing, but... Okay. Did you get more talent points? You did not. I guess I can always just sleep at the town and just walk back and forth. That's fair. That's fair. However, I won't sit here and lie and say that sometimes in anime my favorite character is the villain. But I'm not gonna try and defend their actions. I just like their character. But I'm not gonna, in real life, be like, ah, yes, that serial killer. What a guy. But I would definitely say, for some anime like Hunter x Hunter, I think I would say I find the villains to be more intriguing than most of the other characters. But again, it's a work of fiction. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just better able to separate fiction from reality? I don't know. Sometimes the villains are just interesting. Again, not in real life. I would not stan a serial killer IRL. Okay. Do we try to fight this dragon again and probably die? Oh, I want to make my entire villain cast likable. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. I've kind of like checked out from My Hero Academia lately because I feel like they're trying to make the villains all way too likable. Which at first I was like, oh yeah, some of these villains I really like. But when they tried to do that for like literally all of them, I was like, ah. Not all of them need to have a really interesting backstory. You hate Toga the most. I don't know that I hate any of the villains. I kind of stopped during, or like right after the first like huge villain arc when they all got, or a lot of them got their backstories. One day I'll go back just because I don't like leaving things unfinished. But from what I remember, she's kind of like the Harley Quinn of the series, and I never understood why people like Harley Quinn so much. So, to each their own. I think Twice was my favorite of the villains that I got to. Because of the way his work worked and his whole backstory, I thought that was actually very fascinating. And he was handled pretty well. I'm trying to think what else I've seen that I like the villains more. Not The Last Airbender, but in Avatar, in Korra, I think I liked the villains more than the main cast. However, they were definitely, every villain had like a very understandable, I guess, reasoning behind what they were doing, but they were still held accountable for their actions. You weren't a fan of Korra and her cast? I didn't really like the main characters that much. I was fine with Korra herself. And I liked Bolin, but that was really it. Everyone else I was kind of like, meh. And even Korra sometimes got on my nerves. But I did appreciate the villains. Your issue with Korra was how she treats Mako and Bolin. Yeah, Korra herself has more than one problem going on. But Bolin is a precious child. Honestly, that last season, I was in it for Bolin. The end. That's all I care about. With the original, you liked Katara a lot. I actually had a love-hate relationship with Katara. I started liking her more after the bloodbending thing, when I felt like she became more interesting as a character. But before that, I mean, it's hard to remember that they're children, so they're not going to be like as cognizant of their actions having consequences. But during the whole pirate nonsense, when she could have just not taken that scroll. But again, she's a child. You gotta be a bit more forgiving with her actions. But sometimes she could be a little annoying. Oh, I would definitely say she's more interesting than Toph. I would agree with you there. And by virtue of being his sister, she didn't love Sokka. I never understood why all the female characters had to be in love with Sokka. If I existed in that universe, I would want to punch him in the face. But baby, that's just me. I feel like the only character I really, really enjoyed from The Last Airbender was Zuko, because he had development. And of course, Uncle Iroh. Uncle Iroh is just fantastic.